We're continuing our journey now to save all the fleas and to celebrate with them. And we just picked up Float. So we're going to go ahead and grab the Bellway here because we're going to want it later when we revisit this area. But for now, we need to go ring the Greymore bell. Normally, you might go through the mist and save the flea there while you're there, but we actually do need to do Last Judge because we need to move the fleas to Fleetopia, which means we need to move them to the location of the judge. So we do need to get all of the bells as well. So we do our usual movement through here, but coming up in this next room, we're going to take advantage of something special that TAS can do with Float, which is reverse wall jumps. We can chain those jumps together, and that's substantially faster than doing regular wall jumps because you are re-jumping more frequently, which means you can spend more time at the full jump velocity. And just like that, we're into Greymore. So up here, we're going to do a little trick known as crop pogo. This is something that humans do as well, but they usually do it with dash. So we're going to be doing it without dash and doing a little bit of a janky setup that's not quite as reliable as the way that humans normally do it. But it works well enough. You can also see that we're able to use Float to cancel the pogo off of kind of pogoable objects that we've bounced across. And that's going to be a little bit faster than having to always pogo all the way up before you can pogo back down again. The reason that works is because Float actually resets your attack cooldown. And we're going to be using this fact extensively in fights going forward, but it is also useful for movement as well. So we've come back to the Shellwood station, and this is going to allow us to get around to the blasted steps. But first, we need to fight Widow, because we need the needle in order to progress. So we're going to go ahead and grab this flower, or this polyp rather. We didn't have a spear there, so we had to use our needle, but TAS is able to do it pretty efficiently. Normally, human runners would want to have a spear there because it's very awkward to get that particular polyp. Here, there was the possibility of picking up a shard bundle, but we decided to leave that out of the route because that one's a little bit slow to get without dash. So you can see here, we're using those reverse wall jumps again, but we're also using this technique where you do some up slash while moving forward when passing through these bell walls, and that allows them to break in 2 hits instead of 3. It's very weird. We still don't really understand why that happens, but you can also do it with a dash strike. You can do a similar effect where you only need to hit them twice. Now we enjoy the Widow fight. The Widow fight is very awkward without dash, so we're using these float cancels to try to deal as much damage as we can when she's nearby, because she likes to warp across the screen, and without dash it does take a while to get back to her. You can see that there was a gap there, and we used that bell to give us a screen skip, so we bounced on the needle for a bit and get a screen skip. And then just a few more hits, and this fight should be over. It's a reasonably quick Widow fight. And now we have to do a memory sequence with a bunch of platforming. And this particular memory sequence is actually pretty tight. It's surprising how tight some of the jumps are. In some ways, it's actually easier with Float than it is with dash, floatless. But to do it quickly is still a bit of a challenge. The platforms also disappear if you stand on them, which makes it especially bad if you fall off of any of them. You can actually start playing the needle in pretty far away from the door. That's a little bit faster than walking all the way up to it. And we get to take advantage of more of these reverse wall jumps. They're incredibly weird, and the task is going to be doing them all over the place. So expect to see plenty of weird reverse wall jumping. These segments, these long flat segments, are pretty slow without dash. But the pogos are pretty quick, so they make up some of that time. We're going to be getting claw line not really soon, but not too late into the run, and that's going to help quite a bit, I think. Unlike regular low percent, we do have access to a silk harp because we needed the silk spear in order to get the bell beast, in order to get that bell. So as a result of that, we will be able to have a reusable source of silk for our harpoon usage later. But for now, we just have to deal with what we've got, which is these funky float jumps and the wall jumps that we can do when we reach the end of ledges. We've been doing a lot of that previously, and we're going to continue doing that wherever we can. And we do a save and quit here because the time to actually wait for that bell to ring is extremely long. So it's actually still a little bit faster to quit out. And then now we are going to grab a couple of polyps and then head into Bellheart. So you might notice that we never actually entered Bellheart prior to Widow. So this route actually skips the Haunted Bellheart cutscene entirely, which is a nice little side benefit. We're going to grab a string here. These rosaries will be useful later. And then one last little polyp in here. There is another polyp we'll need to get later, but we can get that when we actually turn in the polyps. We do that during the Mask Maker Courier much later in the run. We use the inventory there to cancel the load-in text, and then we go ahead and pick up the quests on the board. We're not actually going to do most of these quests yet, but we can go ahead and just pick them up so that they're there. Now we're going to go ahead and sell a couple of relics, because we're going to need rosaries for Ventricas and Bellways coming up. And then we're going to go ahead and get our one needle upgrade. This is the only one we managed to get in this run. Normally low TE is able to get up to needle 2, but that would be a percent for us, and we have access to other quest points that aren't a percent, which means that we have to skip needle 2. Normally, this is the only percent point quest that low TE would take, but because we need to do Fleetopia, and we need to actually visit the fleas there and receive the shard bundle, which is a percentage point, that opens up a courier quest, which gives us enough quest points that we don't have to, or we're not able to do the needle upgrade. So now we head back to Shelwood, and we are going around to head to Blasted Steps. Our goal now is to get into Act 2, because that's going to give us access to a bunch more quests that we need to do, and is also going to get us closer to getting the claw line, because harpoons are going to save a lot of time. You get to see more funky wall jumps here. I especially like this room. Someone described it as as Hornet just kind of swimming up the walls, which I think is an apt description. We do need to grab this last bell before we can head to Last Judge. So we do that. And we're going to grab the bench as well, because before we head to Blasted Steps, we're going to go ahead and take a quick detour to save the courier, because we're going to need those courier quests later. So might as well get it done now while we're in the area. It's pretty quick, you just have to fall down and fight a couple enemies. We collect the shards because we're going to need those. And then we quit out as soon as we can. So now we're doing Blasted Steps, and Blasted Steps are a very fun area. There are a number of skips that can be done there. We're not going to be able to do all of the normal skips that are possible with Dash, but we can do most of them. Although to get there first we have to do quite a lot of nil pogos, because it's a very long, flat section. Just kind of flow around the wall there. This is also an area where RNG manip comes in handy. We're able to manipulate exactly when the wind happens, because it's random. It's actually extremely random. You can have like a 0 to 30 second delay between wind cycles. On this room we can't do the skip that normally you would do further down to skip directly to the shortcut. Because without dash you just can't quite reach. But we're able to make it through relatively quickly, taking advantage of pogos and then taking advantage of floats to avoid pogoing too high. So here we do a quick skip. This one's a relatively small skip in terms of what it skips. Now we need a little bit of silk, and then we're going to use that silk to do a heal stall. And then we're taking advantage of the wind there that we helpfully manipulated to be able to get across. And that saves quite a bit of movement because we don't have to go into the room to the right. We're able to just skip that entirely. And then make our way up. And then this just has a couple of minor skips in it. Nothing too big, but we're able to pogo this to get up. And then do another quick pogo to get up there. Minor time saves, but still fun. Just float across there. And now we're coming up on the last judge fight. This fight is extremely fun, and we're going to take advantage of some interesting techniques here. We're going to be doing a lot of pogo cancels in order to deal damage as quickly as possible. We're also going to be doing some damage tanks to be able to continue dealing damage during periods where normally you wouldn't be able to. So early on we can get quite a few hits in before the fight really gets started. Yep, there's our first damage tank that allows us to get a couple more hits in. In this case we don't take a damage tank yet. We back off and just take advantage of our spears that we've saved up. And same thing here. You can actually stand right close in the fire there. Sometimes. It's random. So in this case we actually did have to back off a little bit. But just a couple more hits to finish off the fight. And that is Last Judge. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been a lot of fun working on this task so far. And we've got a lot more to go. A lot of interesting stuff to see. A lot of fleas to save. And that'll be coming up soon. If you want to be notified when new episodes come out, hit that bell. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you, everybody.